The scent of failure is a permanent stain on my skin. It smells of unseasoned stew, harsh lye soap, and the cloying sweetness of polish used to make the grand hall's marble floors gleam for others to dance upon. I am Ilara, an Omega of the Silver Moon Pack, and tonight is the Alpha King's annual mating ball. For the high-born females, it is a night of silks and glittering jewels, of hope and ambition. For me, it is a night of servitude, of invisibility. My wolf is silent within me, a hollow space where others feel a primal, comforting presence. I am, for all intents and purposes, wolfless, a flaw that marks me as less, a broken thing in a world that values strength above all else. From my corner near the kitchens, I watch them. She-wolves in gowns the color of crushed berries and midnight skies preen and laugh, their scents blooming in the warm air. Rose, lilac, and sweet jasmine, all laced with the undercurrent of their own unique musk, a beacon for potential mates. My own scent is muted, smelling of little more than wildflowers and clean rain, a scent so unremarkable it might as well not exist. My duty is simple: remain unseen, keep the refreshment tables stocked, and melt back into the shadows. It is a role I have perfected over 19 years. To be invisible is to be safe. Yet a desperate, foolish part of me, a part I ruthlessly crush, still feels a pang of longing. To be seen, just once. To be wanted. The great doors of the hall swing open and a hush falls over the glittering assembly. Alpha King Kalen enters. Power radiates from him in tangible waves, a pressure against my skin that makes the air crackle. He is the Alpha of Alphas, ruler of all the packs in the kingdom, and his presence commands absolute submission. His scent cuts through the cloying perfumes like a winter storm. It is the sharp, clean fragrance of pine and frost, with an undertone of something wild and untamed, the scent of dominance and raw, masculine power. Every wolf in the room, male and female, bows their head in deference. I, too, lower my gaze, my heart thudding a nervous rhythm against my ribs. He moves through the crowd with predatory grace, his silver eyes scanning the room, cool and discerning. He is searching. Tonight, the fates are supposed to reveal his fated mate, his queen. The pack has waited for this for years. A powerful Alpha King needs a powerful Luna to stand by his side, to bear him strong heirs. His gaze sweeps past my corner. For a breath, I am nothing more than a part of the tapestry on the wall. Relief and a familiar bitter disappointment war within me. It is better this way. And yet, and yet. Then something shifts in the air. The king stops. His head tilts, his nostrils flaring subtly. He turns, his silver gaze no longer sweeping, but piercing, targeted. It snags on me. Me. The serving girl in the corner, clutching a tray of empty goblets. The world narrows to the space between us. The scent of pine and winter frost slams into me, no longer just a fragrance in the air, but a physical force that invades my lungs, my blood, my very soul. It is a key turning a lock I never knew existed. A deep, primal part of me, the hollow space where my wolf should be, ignites with a blinding white light. Mate. The word is not a thought, but a truth that explodes through my entire being. My knees weaken, and the tray of goblets clatters from my nerveless fingers, the sound shockingly loud in the sudden absolute silence of the hall. Every eye is now on me, on us. I see the same shock reflected in his face. His silver eyes, once so cold, are wide with disbelief. The bond flares between us. a living thread of gold and silver light visible only to our souls, pulling us toward each other with an irresistible gravity. Hope, terrifying and brilliant, blooms in my chest. Me? The wolfless Omega? The fates could not be so cruel as to be mistaken. He takes a step toward me, and another. The crowd parts before him like the sea. My heart hammers, a wild drum of hope and fear. He stops just a few feet away. I can feel the heat rolling off his body, see the faint tremor in his hands. His lichen, his inner beast, is roaring for me. I can feel it through the bond, a possessive, desperate call that my own soul strains to answer. Mine, it growls across our connection. Claim, ours. I lift my chin, meeting his gaze, my entire world balanced on this single, impossible moment. He opens his mouth to speak, and I hold my breath, ready for the word that will change my life. No. The word is a shard of ice in the warm hall. It is quiet, but it carries the weight of his absolute authority. The golden thread of the bond between us shudders, and a pain so sharp it steals my breath, lances through my chest. He takes another step closer, his face a mask of cold, agonizing conflict. His eyes are full of regret, so profound it is almost a physical blow. But his jaw is set, his posture rigid with royal duty. It cannot be, he says, his voice louder now, ringing with a finality that echoes off the silent walls, a pronouncement for the entire court to witness. The fates are mistaken. Whispers erupt around us like the hissing of snakes. My face burns with a humiliation so profound, I feel it in my bones. He looks at me, and his voice drops, intended only for me, but the agony in it is a public spectacle. You are wolfless, an Omega. The Silver Moon Kingdom needs a strong queen, a powerful Luna, not this. He does not say the word weakling, but it hangs in the air between us, as sharp and deadly as a blade. This. He gestures vaguely to my plain servant's dress, my low status, my very being. The bond, our precious, nascent connection, fractures. It does not simply break. It shatters like glass, and the pain is a physical agony that rips a strangled gasp from my throat. I clutch my chest, stumbling backward as if he had struck me. I feel the tearing, not just in my soul, but in my flesh, a searing burn centered over my heart. I, Alpha King Kalen of the Silver Moon Kingdom, he declares, his voice booming with the power of his command, turning his back on me to address the horrified court. Reject this pairing. I reject the female Ilara as my fated mate. The words are a death sentence. The rejection, made public and formal, slams into me with the force of a physical blow. The pain intensifies, a white-hot fire consuming me from the inside out. My vision tunnels, the glittering faces of the court blurring into a vortex of scorn and pity. My legs give way, and I collapse to the cold marble floor, the sound of my own broken sob lost in the renewed cacophony of the crowd. His back remains turned to me, a wall of unyielding duty. He does not see me fall. He does not see my world end. He has made his choice, and in doing so, he has destroyed me. The royal guard is efficient and impersonal. Two of them haul me to my feet, their touch rough, devoid of any pity. They do not take me to my small room in the servants' quarters. They drag me through the back corridors of the palace, past the kitchens where I have worked my entire life, and out into the cold, unforgiving night. The king's orders, the captain says, his voice flat. You are to be exiled. You are no longer welcome within the city walls. He shoves a small, rough-spun bag into my hands. Inside is a loaf of stale bread, a skin of water, and a few copper coins. A pittance, an insult. It is the pack's way of washing their hands of me completely. I am cast out, stripped of my name, my home, my pack. I am nothing. The massive gates of the capital city groan shut behind me, the sound of final metallic clang of doom. I am alone. For days. I walk. I have no destination. The pain of the broken bond is a constant companion, a physical ache in my chest that never subsides. It is a cold, hollow space that food cannot fill and sleep cannot soothe. My wolf, the one I never had, feels like a phantom limb, an ache for a presence that was born and died in the same instant. The wilderness is unforgiving. The nights are cold, and strange sounds from the deep woods make my heart pound with a primal fear I have no beast to counter. I am prey here, weak, just as he said. The stale bread is gone quickly, the water not long after. Hunger becomes a gnawing beast in my belly, second only to the gaping wound in my soul. I think of him constantly, the memory of his scent, of the hope in his eyes before he crushed it, is a special kind of torture. Fool! His lichen had called him in my head. You broke us. He had felt it too. I know he had. But his pride, his duty, had been stronger than the fates. Weeks blur into a miserable haze of survival. I learned to forage for berries, to find clean water. But I am fading. The loneliness is a poison, and the rejection has stolen my will to live. One evening, as a storm rolls in, I find shelter under a rocky overhang. The rain begins to fall, cold and relentless. My body shivers uncontrollably, and a strange nausea rolls through me. It has been there for days, a sickness in my stomach that I had attributed to hunger and grief. But this is different. It is a deep, internal shift. My hand drifts to my flat stomach, and a sudden, impossible realization dawns. The mating ball. The single moment the bond had flared to life between us, before he shattered it. It was enough. The fates had not just offered a mate, they had sealed it with a promise. I am pregnant. The knowledge does not bring joy, it brings terror. I am alone, exiled, starving. How can I possibly care for a child, an Alpha King's child, a child who will be a constant living reminder of my humiliation? Despair, black and absolute, washes over me. It would be so easy to just lie down, to let the cold and the hunger take me, to simply cease to exist. I close my eyes, letting the rain lash against my face, and I give up. But then, a flicker. Deep within the hollow space inside me, a tiny, stubborn warmth ignites. It is not the roaring fire of a wolf, but a gentle, persistent ember. It pulses in time with my own heartbeat, a silent rhythm that seems to say, survive. My hand tightens over my belly. It is not just my life anymore. This child, this innocent, has done nothing to deserve this fate. They are a part of him, yes, but they are also a part of me. And I will not let my despair be their death sentence. The choice solidifies in my soul, forging a new kind of strength from the ashes of my broken heart. I will survive. I will protect this life. And one day, I will be worthy, not in the eyes of an Alpha King who cast me aside, but in my own. As I make this vow, the ember of power within me glows a little brighter, a secret promise in the dark. 3 years later, the scent of failure is a distant memory, burned away by the relentless desert sun. The air here in the Sunstone territories smells of hot sand, exotic spices, and the sharp, clean scent of ozone that precedes a lightning strike. I am no longer Ilara the Omega. Here, I am Ilara of the Sunstone, a name I earned through sweat, blood, and sheer unrelenting will. The meek, broken girl who was cast out of the Silver Moon Kingdom is a ghost, a story I tell myself sometimes to remember how far I have come. My body is no longer soft and pliant from a life of servitude. It is hard, corded with muscle from daily training with the Sunstone Warriors. Scars map my skin, each one a testament to a battle won, a hardship overcome. The Sunstone clans are a matriarchal society, fierce and independent, who bow to no alpha king. They found me near death at the edge of their desert territory. My son, Reese, a newborn babe in my arms. They took us in, not out of pity, but because they saw the flicker of fire within me. Their seers, ancient women who can read the threads of power, saw what I was. They saw the truth I had carried dormant in my blood for generations. I am not wolfless. I am a sun-touched, a descendant of a near-mythical line whose magic was thought to be extinct. The power, they explained, is tied to the sun, a magic of light and fire that can either heal or destroy. It was the conception of my son, a child of immense alpha blood, that acted as a catalyst, awakening the dormant power within me. My inner beast is not a wolf of the moon, but a creature of light and shadow, a solstice wolf, as they call it. She is silent, but her power flows through me, a river of liquid sunlight that I have learned to command. My son Reese is my world. He is 3 years old now, a whirlwind of energy and curiosity. He has my dark hair, but he has his father's eyes. Silver, startlingly so, a constant, painful reminder of the man who unknowingly gave me the one thing in the world I would die for. Reese does not know his father. He knows only the sun, the sand, and the love of the fierce warrior women who helped raise him. He also knows Lysander, the chieftain of the Sunstone clans. Lysander has been my mentor, my friend, and my staunchest ally. He is a powerful warrior, but his strength is tempered with a gentleness and respect I never knew a male could possess. He looks at me and sees not a flawed Omega, but a powerful warrior, a devoted mother, a woman worthy of honor. Today, he has asked me to walk with him to the edge of the plateau, where the wind carves strange shapes into the crimson rock. The sun is setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. "Alara," he begins, his voice steady and calm, "you have built a life here. You have a home. Reese has a family, but you do not have a mate, and a boy needs a father." He turns to me, his dark, kind eyes searching my face. "I would be that man. For you. For him. I would be honored to have you as my mate, to formally bind our families and our lives. There is no pressure from the fates here, no bond forcing our hands. Just a choice. A partnership built on respect and affection." His proposal is everything I should want. It is safe. It is logical. It is an offer of a complete and happy life, free from the ghosts of the past. It would give Reese a father who would cherish him, a name, a standing. I look at this good, honorable man, and my heart aches with a conflict I cannot voice. A part of me, the logical part, screams to accept. But another part, the part where the ghost of a shattered bond still resides, hesitates. The cold ache in my chest, a phantom pain that has been my constant companion for 3 years, seems to grow colder at the thought of binding myself to another. Can I truly move on? Or am I just a different kind of broken now? Before I can answer, a scout comes running toward us, her face grim. "Chieftain, a rider from the north. He bears the sigil of the Alpha King. My name is Kalen, and I am a king ruling over a kingdom of ghosts. For 3 years, my lichen has been my tormentor, his voice a constant snarling litany of my failure inside my head. Fool, coward, You broke us. You threw away our soul. He is right. The moment I spoke the words of rejection, I did not just shatter her, I shattered myself. The bond did not die. It festers inside me, a shard of ice lodged permanently against my heart. It is a constant, dull ache that flares into agonizing pain whenever I am foolish enough to remember the hope that shone in her eyes. I see her everywhere, in the face of every serving girl, in the shadows of the grand hall where she fell. The scent of wildflowers and rain haunts my dreams, a fragrance that has become synonymous with my own personal hell. I have not known a moment's peace. Sleep offers no respite, only nightmares of her broken sobs and my own damning silence. I tried, in the first year, to move on, to find another mate, a suitable she-wolf of high birth, as my duty demanded. But the moment another female came near, my lichen would rise in a feral rage, his snarls a promise of death. The scent of any other female is like ash and rot in my throat. I am cursed. The fates gave me my one perfect match, and in my arrogance and fear, I spat in their faces. My counsel worries. I am a king without a queen, without an heir. My power, once absolute, feels hollow. The kingdom itself feels it. The harvests are less bountiful, the winters harsher. The life force of the land is tied to its king, and its king is broken. Now, a new darkness gathers at our borders. Shadow creatures, things of nightmare we call the unseen, are attacking the outer villages. They are fast, silent, and they drain the life from anything they touch. Our best warriors fall against them, their strength useless. Our magic has no effect. They are a plague of despair, and they are spreading. My seers have spent weeks poring over ancient texts, desperate for a weakness, a defense. This morning, they found one, a prophecy. When the shadows feed upon the light, the high seer read, her voice trembling, only the sun can burn them away. The power of the sun touched must be found. The sun touched. A bloodline we all thought was lost to history, a myth. Their magic, the legends say, was born of the sun itself, the only force capable of destroying absolute darkness. Hope, a feeling I thought long dead, flickers within me. It is a desperate, thin chance, but it is the only one we have. Find them, I command my council. Send scouts to every corner of the continent. Follow every rumor, every whisper of a legend. Find me the sun-touched. My command is absolute, but inside, I am a beggar. I am not just searching for a weapon to save my kingdom. I am searching for any purpose, any quest that might distract me from the hollow ache in my chest, from the ghost of a girl with wildflower scent and eyes full of shattered starlight. The ghost I created, and the one I can never escape. My scouts return with whispers from the southern deserts. Rumors of a new warrior rising among the Sunstone clans, a woman who commands a strange, light-based power. They call her Elara of the Sunstone. The name is a coincidence, I tell myself. It has to be. But the flicker of hope in my chest burns hotter, more painful. I will go myself. I cannot send another. This is my kingdom, my failure. I will be the one to plead for aid. I ride south, pushing my mount harder than I ever have before. The journey is a blur of landscapes, my mind consumed with a single, terrifying thought. What if it is her? What if, after all this time, the fates have decided to twist the knife one last time? The Sunstone territory is stark and beautiful, a land of red rock and scorching sun. Their warriors, all female, meet me at the border. They are fierce, their eyes wary. They do not bow. They lead me to their main settlement, a city carved into the side of a massive canyon. I am a king, but here, I am a supplicant. I am brought to their council chamber, an open-air cavern high on the cliff face. A figure stands with her back to me, looking out over the vast expanse of the desert. She is tall, poised, radiating an aura of calm authority that is more commanding than any alpha's roar. "You have come seeking the sun touched," she says, her voice calm and cool. It is a voice I have heard in my nightmares for 3 years, but it is different now, deeper, stronger, stripped of its former fragility. She turns, and my world stops. It is her, Ilara, but not the girl I remember. The servant's dress is gone, replaced by the hardened leather armor of a warrior. Her hair is longer, braided with beads of sunstone that catch the light. Her face is sharper, her eyes holding a wisdom and a hardness that were not there before. She is beautiful, more so than I remember. A beauty forged in fire and hardship. The shard of ice in my chest explodes into a supernova of pain and longing. The broken bond screams to life between us, a raw, open wound. "Mate," my lichen howls, a sound of pure agony and desperate, possessive joy. "Ours." She is here. Her scent hits me and I stagger. It is still wildflowers and rain, but now it is woven with the scent of the desert sun, of hot sand, and the electric tang of ozone. It is the scent of power, my power, her power, and something else. Faint, but unmistakable beneath it all. The scent of a child, my blood, my son. My gaze drops, and I see him. A small boy with a riot of dark hair stands half hidden behind her legs, peering at me with wide, curious eyes. Silver eyes. My eyes. The air is punched from my lungs. An heir. I have an heir. An heir I abandoned. An heir who is looking at me as if I am a complete stranger. Ilara's face is a mask of cool indifference, but I can feel her shock, her pain, her fury, thrumming through the bond. She hates me. She should. "Alpha King Kalen," she says, her voice devoid of any warmth. The formal title is a slap in the face. "You requested an audience. State your purpose." She holds all the power here, and we both know it. I, who once stood in judgment of her, am now the one being judged. She is not just a warrior. She is a queen in her own right, and I am a beggar at her court. The irony is so thick it is almost suffocating. I try to speak, to explain, but the words die in my throat. All I can see is the ghost of the girl I broke, now remade into a woman who could break me with a single word. And standing beside her is the son I never knew, a living symbol of everything I destroyed. "My kingdom is under attack," I managed to force out, my voice hoarse. "By creatures of shadow. We have learned that only the power of the sun-touched can defeat them. We came to ask for your aid." My words sound hollow, pathetic. I am asking her, the woman I cast aside for being weak, to save my kingdom because she is strong. She listens, her expression unreadable. The little boy, my son, tightens his grip on her leg, his silver eyes fixed on me with a child's unwavering scrutiny. "The unseen," she says, her voice flat. "We have heard of them. They are a blight that must be purged." She looks from me to the horizon, a thoughtful, strategic glint in her eyes. It is the look of a commander considering a battlefield. An alliance may be beneficial. The Sunstone clans do not wish for this darkness to spread to our lands. Her gaze returns to me, and it is as cold and sharp as obsidian. "Our help will come at a price, of course. We will discuss the terms of our alliance. But let me be clear, Your Majesty." The honorific is a weapon, each syllable dripping with sarcasm. "This is a military arrangement, Nothing more. My past is my own, and it is not open for discussion or negotiation. Is that understood? The unspoken threat is clear. You will not speak of what you did. You will not speak of him. She gestures to our son. I can only nod, my throat tight. I am a king on his knees, and I have only just begun to understand the true cost of my pride. The days that follow are a refined form of torture. We are forced into an uneasy proximity, planning the strategy for the coming war. Ilara, Lysander, and I sit around a carved stone table, maps of the kingdom spread between us. Every meeting is a fresh torment. I have to watch as Lysander stands by her side, the picture of a supportive partner. He touches her arm in a familiar gesture of comfort. He shares private smiles with her son, my son. The jealousy that rips through me is a feral, ugly thing, but I have no right to it. I forfeited that right 3 years ago. I am the outsider here, a necessary evil she must tolerate for the sake of the world. She is brilliant. Her mind is sharp. Her strategies insightful. She sees weaknesses in my army's deployments that my own generals missed. She commands the respect of her warriors with a quiet confidence that I, with all my alpha roars, have never been able to master. I see the life she built from the ashes I left her in, a life of purpose, of honor, a life that does not need me, a life that is, by all accounts, better without me. My son, Reese, is a constant presence. He is fearless and bright, trailing after his mother like a small shadow. Sometimes he looks at me with those silver eyes, a mirror of my own, and I feel a yearning so profound it physically hurts. I want to talk to him, to know him, but the wall Ilara has built around her heart is impenetrable. Her cold, professional demeanor never wavers. She is Ilara of the Sunstone, war leader. The girl who loved me is gone. I killed her. One evening, I find her alone by the training grounds, long after the sun has set. She is practicing, her body a blur of motion, as she wields a sword, forged of what looks like solidified light. The power that flows from her is breathtaking, a golden aura that illuminates the darkness around her. She moves with a dancer's grace and a predator's lethality. I can't take it anymore. The silence, the pretense, it is eating me alive. Ilara, I say, my voice rough. She stops, the sword of light dissolving into motes of dust. She does not turn to face me. There is nothing more to discuss tonight, Your Majesty. The plans are set. My name is Kaelin, and I am done with pretense. I am done with pride. It has cost me everything. I walk towards her, my steps heavy. I am not here to talk about the war. I stop a few feet behind her. I know words are meaningless. I know an apology from me is an insult. But I need to say it. Not for you. For me. To give voice to the truth that has been poisoning me for 3 years. I take a ragged breath. I was a fool. A coward. My father raised me to believe that duty to the kingdom was paramount. That a king's heart was a liability. He taught me that our line's strength came from power, and that any perceived weakness was a threat to our rule. When the bond snapped into place, my Lycan knew. He knew you were our everything. But I was terrified. You were an Omega, wolfless. My court, my rivals, they would have seen you as a weakness. They would have used it to tear me down, to destabilize the kingdom. In that moment, I chose what I thought was my duty. I chose my crown over my soul. I finally moved to stand in front of her, forcing her to look at me. Her face is pale in the moonlight, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears of anger and old pain. It was the single greatest mistake of my life, I continue, my voice breaking. I have not had one day of peace since I turned my back on you. My lichen has never forgiven me. I live in a hell of my own making, Ilara. I tell you this not for your pity. I deserve none. I tell you this so you know that your pain was not unnoticed. I felt it. I felt the bond shatter, and a part of me died with it. I see our son. I see he has my eyes, and I know I have no right to him. I have no right to you. But seeing you, seeing the queen you have become, I know the fates were not mistaken. I was. Tears are now streaming freely down her face, silent trails of silver in the moonlight. They are tears of rage, of grief for the girl she was and the love she lost. Your confession changes nothing, she whispers, her voice thick with emotion. It does not erase the humiliation. It does not erase the nights I spent starving and freezing, protecting the child you gave me and then abandoned. It does not give me back the years. I know, I say, my own heart shattering anew. I expect nothing. I ask for nothing. I take a step back, giving her space. The alliance stands. I will fight with you to save this world. And when it is over, you and Reese are free. You never have to see me again. That is your right. I turn and walk away, leaving her alone in the moonlight. It is the first honest thing I have done in 3 years, and it feels like pouring salt on an open wound, but it is the truth, and it is all I have left to give her. The next day, Lysander finds me watching Reese play with the other children. He stands beside me, his presence calm and steady. For a long moment, we are silent. He is a good boy, Lysander says quietly, fierce and kind, like his mother. I can only nod, my throat too tight to speak. I have seen the way you look at her, he continues, his gaze fixed on Alara, who is instructing a group of young warriors nearby. I have felt the truth of it since you arrived. The fates have a cruel sense of humor. He turns to me, his expression serious, but not unkind. I offered her a life with me, a safe life, a happy one, I hope. But I cannot compete with a fated bond, no matter how broken it is. I see the torment in her eyes every time she looks at you. It is a war between her head and her heart. He sighs, a sound of resignation and genuine sorrow. I love her, he says simply. And because I love her, I want her to be whole. She can never be whole with me, because a part of her soul will always be tied to yours. She will not choose this for herself. She is too proud, too hurt. She believes she is protecting her heart and protecting Reese, but all she is doing is denying herself the chance to heal. He places a hand on his chest. I told her this morning that I was withdrawing my offer. I told her that I will always be her friend, her ally, and a father to Reese in my heart if he needs one. But I will not be the man who stands in the way of her destiny. I will not be her second choice, and I will not ask her to live a half-life with me. He looks me directly in the eye, his gaze intense. This is your chance, Alpha King. The path is clear. Do not waste it. Prove to her that you are the man she deserves, not the boy who broke her. With that, he gives me a short, sharp nod and walks away, leaving me with the weight of his words and the slimmest, most terrifying sliver of hope I have felt in years, the unseen attack at dusk. Not at the border, as we anticipated, but at the heart of the kingdom itself. A wave of darkness, a tide of silent, shadowy forms pours into the capital city, bypassing our wards as if they were not there. A powerful psychic scream echoes across the land, a message sent directly to Alara and me. It is the voice of their leader, the Shadow Weaver, the child, the one who is both moon and sun. He will be our vessel. His power will corrupt the Heartstone and plunge this world into eternal night. Their target is not just the kingdom. It is Reese. Panic, cold and sharp, seizes me. We are days away in the desert. We have to go now, Alara says, her face pale, but her eyes blazing with a mother's fury. She turns to her warriors. Prepare for battle. We ride like the wind, our combined forces a river of steel and desperation flowing north. The journey is a blur of pounding hooves and frantic prayers. The bond between us is a taut wire of shared terror. For the first time in 3 years, we are united in a single, desperate purpose: save our son. We arrive to find the capital city besieged. The unseen flow through the streets like ink, draining the life from everything they touch. The city's defenders are falling back, their strength failing against the tide of shadow. At the center of the city, before the steps of the royal palace, the Shadow Weaver stands. It is a tall, horrifying figure, cloaked in living darkness, its form shifting and writhing. It holds the city's heartstone, a massive crystal that regulates the kingdom's life force, in one shadowy claw. In the other, it holds Reese. My son struggles, his small face a mask of terror. A handful of royal guards and sunstone warriors form a protective circle around Alara's private chambers, where they had been keeping him safe. But it was not enough. Alara, I roar, drawing my sword. We charge, cutting a swath through the lesser shadows. But the Weaver is too powerful. It erects a shield of pure darkness, repelling our attacks. The Alpha King, it hisses, its voice 1,000 whispers at once. And the sun touched. You will watch as your legacy becomes our greatest weapon. It turns its attention to Reese, its shadowy tendrils beginning to snake around him. Ilara screams, a raw animal sound of maternal terror. She unleashes a torrent of pure sunlight, but it splashes harmlessly against the Weaver's shield. We are not strong enough apart. Desperation claws at me. I see Reese's terrified eyes, and I know what I must do. There is only one way, one final act of surrender. I drop my sword. It clatters on the stone pavement. I walk forward, my hands raised in surrender, until I stand before the shimmering wall of darkness. The Shadow Weaver pauses, its attention shifting to me. What is this? It hisses. Let the boy go, I say, my voice ringing with a calm I do not feel. Take me instead. My life force is tied to this land, to the Heartstone. My power is far greater than his. I am the Alpha King. I am the prize you truly want. I do not look at Alara, but I feel her horrified gasp through the bond. I feel her silent plea for me not to do this. But this is my redemption. This is my penance. The Weaver considers this, its shadowy form pulsing. A tempting offer, it whispers. Prove your sincerity. Show me your submission. I know what it means. I know what I must do. In front of the Shadow Weaver, in front of my remaining guards, in front of the Sunstone warriors, in front of the entire world, and most importantly, in front of her, I sink to my knees. The act is anathema to an alpha, a violation of every instinct. But my Lycan does not fight me. For them, he murmurs in my mind, a rare moment of unity. Yes. I lower my head and bare my throat. It is the ultimate gesture of submission, a public declaration that my life is forfeit. I am not just submitting to the enemy, I am submitting to her. My life has always been hers. I was just too blind to see it. My life for theirs, I say, my voice clear and steady. This is my choice. The public rejection reversed by a public sacrifice. It is the only grovel that matters. A strangled sob escapes Ilara's lips. I feel it through the bond, a wave of such overwhelming emotion, shock, grief, and something else, something that feels like a dam breaking, that it nearly brings me to my knees. The shadow weaver lets out a sibilant laugh. So be it. A king's power will anchor our new world nicely. It releases Reese, who scrambles away, running towards the circle of warriors. The dark shield falls. The weaver raises its claw, ready to strike, to claim its prize. But before it can, a wave of golden light washes over me. Ilara is there, standing between me and the weaver, her body blazing like a newborn star. Her hand is outstretched, not towards the enemy, but towards me. Her eyes are filled with tears, but they are not tears of anger. They are tears of forgiveness, of acceptance. No, she says, her voice trembling but strong. The anger, the years of pain, the impenetrable wall she built around her heart. I feel it all crumbling to dust through the bond. Mine, her solstice wolf purrs in my mind, a sound of fierce, primal possession that my lichen answers with a triumphant roar. Ours. She has made her choice. She steps forward, her light so bright it forces the shadows to recoil. She kneels in front of me, taking my face in her hands. Her touch is electric, a jolt of pure life that chases away the cold dread. Get up, she whispers, her voice thick with unshed emotion. But I shake my head, my eyes locked on hers. My submission was not just for the enemy, it was for her. It is her forgiveness I need, her command I will obey. Understanding dawns in her eyes. This is the final piece. The public rejection required a public acceptance. She leans in and her lips meet mine. The kiss is not soft or gentle. It is a cataclysm, a collision of sun and moon, of ice and fire. It is 3 years of pain and longing and regret poured into a single, soul-shattering moment. And as our lips touch, she places her hand over my heart, right over the scar, the broken bond left on my soul. Ours, she breathes against my mouth. The world explodes in light. The fractured bond, the two broken halves of our soul, snap together. It is not a gentle mending. It is a violent fusion, a supernova of silver and gold energy that erupts from us in a blinding wave. The pain is excruciating, but it is a cleansing fire, burning away the scars, the regret, the loneliness, and in its place is a feeling of completeness so profound it is a physical sensation, a sense of coming home after a lifetime lost in the wilderness. The power that surges between us is immense, far greater than the sum of its parts. My raw, primal, alpha strength, the power of the moon and the earth, intertwines with her magic of the sun, of light and fire. We are a perfect, terrifying balance. We are night and day, creation and destruction, two halves of a single, perfect whole. We rise together, no longer two separate beings, but a single entity of purpose. The Shadow Weaver shrieks, shielding its form as our combined aura of silver and gold light burns it like acid. Impossible, it wails. Ilara raises a hand, and a spear of pure sunlight forms in her grasp. I draw on the power of the earth, and spectral wolves of shadow and moonlight rise from the ground at my command. For our son, she says, her voice ringing with the power of a goddess. For our kingdom, I echo, my voice a growl that is both man and beast. We attack as one. My wolves harry the weaver, tearing at its shadowy form, while her light spears pierce its defenses, burning away the darkness layer by layer. The creature is no match for us. We are what the fates intended, a power to remake the world. With a final combined blast of silver moonlight and golden sunfire, we incinerate the Shadow Weaver, its form dissolving into nothingness with a final despairing shriek. The remaining unseen, their master gone, dissolve back into the shadows from whence they came, banished by the pure light of our completed bond. Silence falls over the city. The darkness has receded. The first rays of dawn are breaking over the horizon, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and gold. We stand in the center of the devastation, breathing heavily, our bodies still thrumming with the aftershocks of the power we wielded. My eyes find Reese. He is safe, wrapped in the arms of Lysander, who gives me a slow, approving nod. The battle is over. The kingdom is safe. I turn to Alara. She is looking at me, her face streaked with dirt and tears, but she's the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. The bond between us is a calm, steady river now, a warm and constant presence that fills the hollow spaces inside me. The ache is gone. For the first time in 3 years, I am whole. I am still on my knees. The posture of submission feels right. It feels earned. She steps closer and gently cups my face, her thumb stroking my cheek. "Get up, Kaylin," she says again, her voice soft now, full of a love I thought I had lost forever. I take her hand and rise slowly to my feet. We are the same height, our eyes level. There is no supplicant, no savior. There is no Alpha and his Omega. There is only a king and his queen, equals, partners, mates. "I love you," I whisper, the words I should have said 3 years ago. I never stopped. "I know," she replies, a sad, beautiful smile touching her lips. "I tried to hate you. For so long, I tried. But it was like trying to hate the sun for rising. It was just a part of me." She touches the spot over her heart. The pain is gone. I cover her hand with mine, our fingers lacing together. I will spend the rest of my life making sure it never comes back. I swear it. 1 year later, we stand on that same balcony of the royal palace, overlooking a kingdom that is healing, thriving under the joint rule of its king and queen. The Heartstone, now infused with both sun and moon magic, glows with a gentle, steady light, its power stronger than ever. Peace has returned to the land. The Sunstone clans and the Silver Moon Kingdom are now bound by an unbreakable alliance, and more importantly, by family. Lysander is a frequent and welcome visitor, a beloved uncle to our son. Below us, in the palace gardens, Reese is chasing a spectral wolf I conjured for him, his laughter echoing in the evening air. He is a happy, fearless child, secure in the love of both his parents. Alara leans her head against my shoulder, and I wrap my arm around her waist, pulling her close. The bond between us is a quiet, constant comfort, a silent conversation that never ends. We are not the same people we were before that fateful maiden ball. The scars are there, etched onto our souls. Her years of exile and hardship have given her a strength and wisdom no pampered queen could ever possess. My years of suffering and regret have burned away my arrogance, leaving behind a humility and a deep, abiding gratitude. We are not perfect. We are scarred, but we are whole. I lift her hand to my lips and kiss the back of it, right over the faint, silvery mark where the bond once fractured. It is a reminder of the price of my pride and the miracle of her grace. "I'm sorry," I murmur against her skin. It is a phrase I will likely repeat for the rest of our days, not because she needs to hear it, but because I need to say it. She turns in my arms, her beautiful face tipped up to mine. Her eyes, once so full of pain and anger when they looked at me, now hold only love. I know, she says softly, but we are here now, together, and that is all that matters. She rises on her toes and kisses me, a soft, promising kiss full of the quiet joy of a hard-won peace. And as the sun sets, casting a golden glow over our healed kingdom, I hold my mate, my queen, my everything, and I know that I have finally, truly come home.